What movie death scene is seared into your memory? Curb stomp from American History X. The sound of the teeth on the curb. Sad face. No question. The scene in Casino where Joe Pesci watches his brother to get beaten to death with aluminum baseball bats. The pinging sound haunts me to this day. And that was a true story, right down to the dirt in the respiratory tract from being buried alive. Jesus. I know the film was based on a true story, but I didn't know that about the scene. Makes it so much worse. Thanks for the nightmare fuel fun fact. Ha ha ha. Saving Private Ryan is one of my all-time favorite movies. But I can't watch the scene where Mellish gets stabbed. Mine is where Medic Wade gets shot and dies. Tell us how to fix you. It's brutal. Those last seconds of him saying he wants to go home and then asking for his mama. Jesus Christ. Heartbreaking. John Coffey from The Green Mile. Don't put me in the dark. I's afraid of the dark. That and the Cajun guy whose head lights up in the chair. Bridge to Terabithia. Thanks for killing me inside. In Titanic. The man plummeting from the sinking ship into the icy waters only to have his fall interrupted by still metal propellers. That dift put a hell of a spin on him for the rest of the descent into the water. Littlefoot's mom dying. Watching that as a kid was the first time that I realized that my parents could die. So that scene has especially stuck with me throughout the years. Ghost ship. A cable sweeps through a dance floor so fast and sharp it sliced people in half. Ask my dad of a synopsis of any movie and he says, they all die. Everybody dies. Doesn't matter what the movie is about. I was so happy when I finally got him to watch Ghost Ship. Best opening scene ever. The shoe in Roger Rabbit's sad face. How about the steamroller scene? That movie was packed to the brim with dramatic whimsy. Asterisk when I killed your brother. I talk just like this. Asterisk eyes turn into daggers. Asterisk asterisk. That scene still gives me the creeps. Love the movie though. The baby gorilla in the animated Tarzan. What the hell, Disney? That whole movie had a lot of death. Clayton's death at the end was really dark. Didn't notice the shadow of his hanging corpse as a kid. I was too focused on the machete. Also didn't notice that you can see Tarzan's parents' corpses in Silence of the Lambs when Hannibal gets a hold of the guard in his cage cell and starts biting his face. 9-year-old me was not ready for that. And I was less ready to hear my mom start laughing hysterically at the scene. I guess she just found it absurd. Not technically a death, but when Wally's memory banks got fried at the end. I felt that in my soul. Thankfully Pixar would never leave us on a note like that. But damn, that little robot moved me so much. I think it's really fascinating how much emotion and life you can put into a thing by just using eye movements. Will Smith smothering the dog as it turns in I Am Legend. When they crush Piggy in Lord of the Flies. I was probably too young to watch. Also, the scientist who gets killed in the elevator in Damien. The Omen 2. I remember when I read The Lord of the Flies and I felt so bad for poor Simon. When the shark kills Quint in Jaws. This is mine. Probably because I was 11 and watching it in a packed theater. The whole experience is still a vivid memory. That movie blew people away. Hereditary, the car crash. The way he just goes home and goes straight to bed. Chilling. The way he just lays there with his eyes open all night. I don't want to imagine what thoughts were spinning throughout his mind as he lay there for hours. Then hearing his parents wake up but not knowing what to tell them. Then hearing his mom go out to the car knowing what is waiting for her. That whole scene is so stressful on so many levels. His mom's shriek when she leaves the house haunts me to this day. Toni Collette got fucking robbed of an Oscar nom for that performance. Boromir in Fellowship of the Ring. It gets dusty in the room just remembering it. I would have followed you, my brother. My captain, my king. Feels. The old wisdom that was born out of the West was forsaken. Asterisk asterisk kings made tombs more splendid than the houses of the living and counted the names of their descent dearer than the names of their sons, asterisk, asterisk. Childless lords sat in age halls musing on heraldry, or in high, cold towers asking questions of the stars. And so the people of Gondor fell into ruin. The line of kings failed. The white tree withered, and the rule of Gondor was given over to lesser men. The scene in Bone Tomahawk where they rip the guy in half. This fucking scene. I hate it that it haunts me and interrupts my thoughts every once in a while. I'd be thinking about work, my kids, planning stuff, wishbone scene, and my fucking day is ruined. Gotta be the scene in Inglourious Bastards where Bridget Von Hammer's Mark is strangled to death. That was intense. I feel like I remember the Beardew scene a little more clearly than this one. But yeah, this is still super intense. Professor Xavier in Logan. Sir Patrick Stewart is such an actor. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Damn, that was hard to watch. Logan. What did you do? What did you do? Answer me. Quote. Jesus. Even the trailer for that is brutal. The trailer with Hurt by Johnny Cash as the music is an absolute masterpiece. Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones made me physically ill. That poor guy who gets his heart ripped out by thuggies and sent into lava in Temple of Doom always got me as a kid. Still pretty memorable. Wash, Serenity, Shepherd book. His last bit was just watching the people he cared for be miserable while he was in incredible pain. Cedric Diggory's death in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. His dad crying and sobbing and just made me never forget it. That scene is amazing though by all the actors. Cheerful music playing but Dumbledore immediately sees what happened. Then Mr. Diggory seeing it, and the music coming to a stop as everyone else does. It was exactly the way I imagined it from reading the books. Harry gets back and it's all happy celebration that turns to sudden horror when they realize what happened. My boy cuts me to the core every time. That's my son. That's my boy. Breaks my heart even just remembering it. 1917. When Lance Corporal Blake gets shot stabbed by the enemy he was trying to help after a plane crash. And then his best friend has to watch him bleed out and later tell Blake's brother about his death. Awful. That scene is incredible. You can see his face starting to get flesh from the blood leaving his body. At the end it's stark white. The Green Mile. The whole thing. Even down to the damn mouse. That movie was the first that ever made me cry and broke through my depression. No film will ever overwrite that one. Mr. Fredrickson's wife in Up. Probably this guy in Black Hawk Down. So he was in this convoy truck and it got blown up by an RPG. Then one of the soldiers picked up his hand, then saw the guy dying with half his body blown off. His last words? Tell my girls I'll be okay. I saw that scene when I was a kid and it never left my head. For me it was Corporal Jamie Smith bleeding out while he bled out because they couldn't clamp his leg artery. Not a movie but TV show. Glenn's death from The Walking Dead. His fucking eye popping out of its socket, trying to speak between blows. And then the mush of blood and brains where his head is supposed to be. And all of this happening right in front of Maggie. Perhaps that was what bothered me the most, not the gore but the idea of watching a loved one be so brutally beaten to death. It seriously fucked me up for days. I knew he died like that in the comics, but after changing multiple deaths and seeing Abraham die, I just really thought he was safe. That's why it hit so hard. Asterisk RoboCop asterisk. Buddy gets covered with toxic waste and then gets hit by a car and explodes like a water balloon. Edit. Syntax. Edit 2 asterisk Murphy's asterisk death was hard to watch for sure. Poor bastard. But I could never get the vision of the windshield goo out of my head. Drew Barrymore hanging from a tree, with the camera zooming in to start Scream Monsieur. Her parents finding her body made it more heartbreaking too. Especially hearing her mom scream out and collapse. It might not have showed their death, but the fact that they show Carl and Ellie's story in Up, even if it's pretty quick, makes Ellie's death much more impactful. Satine's death in Moulin Rouge. Right after she got back together with her love, they sing this awesome love song, and she dies as the curtain goes down. Ewan McGregor breaks my heart with that sobbing. The sounds Ewan McGregor makes in that scene are just indescribable. Such a beautiful piece of acting. Wait, so you're telling me that Ewan McGregor watches his love, who is named Satine, die as they are reunited, and this isn't Star Wars? They named the Duchess Satine in Clone Wars because of Ewan's role in Moulin Rouge. Long live the king. No. TV show. Breaking Bad. Gus Fring. Asterisk tick 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 asterisk. O underscore O. HAAAAWWWW. Asterisk boom. Asterisk. Walks out. Straightens tie. Dies. Gotta be Hank for me. That last line is so good. Walt, you're the smartest guy I've ever known, but you're too stupid to realize he made up his mind 10 minutes ago. Do what you got, bang. My name is ASAC Schrader and you can go fuck yourself. Gets me every time. The one secretary lady from Jurassic World. All she wanted was to plan her wedding and not to drag around two snotty brats all day. The end of The Mist. It is the most emotionally gut-wrenching scene I have ever seen. The man and woman in Titanic that lay in bed together as the water starts rising in the room, monsieur. And the mother who reads to her children. Artax. Don't you start. Dobby. Neil's suicide in Dead Poet Society. Edit. Tie for my first ever silver. Second edit. Never expected this to blow up. Oh, thank you for the gold. Kind stranger. The death of Mufasa. And if that doesn't get me, the dad, wake up. Surely does. Oh yes, Musafa. Not to be confused with Mufasa from The Lion King. Yondu. He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't you, daddy. Still crying. You look like Mary Poppins. Quote. Is he cool? Quote. Hell yeah, he's cool. Quote. I'm Mary Poppins. Y'all. Quote. One of the best parts of the whole movie, in my opinion. Anyone else here have traumatic memories of movies you were too young to watch, but you saw anyway because your dad just left them on TV in the middle of the day? My worst one, I think, is Poseidon Adventure, so the cast makes it all the way to the very end. There's like 5 minutes left in the movie. They're climbing the ladder that will lead to safety, and fucking Linda just falls off the ladder and dies. Then her husband starts on a rant about my DEAAAAR sweet Linda, and it's heartbreakingly good acting. But then the leader of the group decides to sacrifice himself so the others can escape safely. But even at age 6 I felt like that wasn't really necessary. He just felt bad because Linda's husband was giving him shit because Linda couldn't hold on to a fucking ladder. IDK, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I'll never forget the movie that killed off two main characters in completely unnecessary ways in the final 5 minutes when they were a few feet away from safety. Also, Mars attacks. Like the whole fucking movie. I saw that when I was 7 years old. The Martians had asterisk guns asterisk that turned asterisk people asterisk into asterisk skeletons asterisk. Fuck that. Oh yeah? For me, it was accidentally happening onto the opening scene of The Dirty Dozen. It is the very graphic portrayal of the hanging of a very young and terrified GI during World War II. Poor kid keeps apologizing in the hopes that he'll be spared, and lets out a huge gasp when they put a hood over his head as he realizes that his death is actually going to happen. It is very clinical and methodical, which adds to the horror. I was probably 8 at the time, and I refused to tell my parents what happened, because I didn't want to lose my TV privileges. But they knew I had been traumatized in some way or another. The cop from Saw 5 who throws Jigsaw's apprentice into that coffin thing before getting crushed to death between two walls. The panic and brutality of the scene. You see his arm snap as he tries to hold the walls apart. I'd really like to watch through the series again, but the though of that scene stops me. I could watch the first one no problem, but it just gets too much and I really really feel uncomfortable watching that. I've only seen it once and that was enough. That's the one that you can't watch. The third one had a guy's arm twisted a full 360. I can't handle the woman who gets shoved into the pit of used needles. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.